Okay, today we're going to do some calculations for inventory using the perpetual system. We're going to do both Fifo and Lifo, and we're going to do, I think we're going to do weighted average cost. Well, we'll see. Anyway, time to end, we'll know. This is our setup. We have a beginning inventory map, we have a sale, then we have a purchase, and a couple of sales again, and another purchase. We're going to use this area over here to organize and calculate all of our information. You'll see it has a date column, and then this is the area for all of our purchases. Here's the area for cost of merchandise sold, and this area is for ending inventory, what we have left. Okay, each of these has three sub-columns here: quantity, unit cost, total cost, quantity, unit cost, total cost, so forth. Okay, so let's just start here. We have our beginning inventory on April 1st, 2019, and we're going to go over here and say we had 120 units. Each unit cost us $26 a piece. So there we go. That's just based on this information right here. And this is going to just be a multiplication. It is 120 times 26. The inventory we're starting out with has a value of $3,120. Let me put some commas in this column. There we go. Okay. Next, on April 10th, we're going to sell some items. Okay, so let's go ahead and put April 10th. And let's go to the cost of merchandise sold area right here. How many are we selling? We're selling 90 of them. Okay, at this point, we don't have to make any decisions about how much anything costs us because we only have one layer of inventory to choose from. So these 90 items had to have cost us $26 a piece. Okay, so what's the total value of that sale in our merchandise inventory? It's 90 times 26, or $23.40. And that column needs some commas too. Okay. Now, after we handle this sale, we need to update our inventory. We had 120 units. We just sold 90. So how many do we have left? 120 minus 90 is 30. How much did each individual item cost us? Well, they cost us $26. We're getting that from right here. So what's the remaining inventory valued at? Well, the 30 remaining items times the 26 has a value of $780. Okay. Now, next, we're going to purchase some on April 15th. Oops. Okay, how many did we purchase? We bought 140. And it says over here that those 140 cost us $28 a piece. So our total purchase price is 140 times 28. That has a purchase value of $39.20. Okay, now we have to update our inventory again. What we do is we exactly copy what we had to begin with. Those 30 units are still around. Okay, so we're going to bring those 30 units down for starters. It might be helpful, I wish you could do this on Cengage, but you can't, but let's put a bold or thicker border. Where's our thick bottom border? Right there, so we can separate the different days. Okay, so remember, everything is by date here. So we start out on the 14th, excuse me, not the 14th, the 15th of April with this already. Now, though, we have added this to the mix. Okay, so what do we have at the end of April 15th? Well, you'd have to look at both of these. We have 30 at 26, we have 140 at 28. Altogether, we have 170 units. And if you wanted to know the total value of that inventory, you'd have to add these two together. We can quickly do that just for curiosity here. So if we add $39.20 to the $780, the value of our inventory at that point is $4,700. Okay, get rid of that. So now the next day, we're going to sell some, or the next transaction, not the next day, on 4/20. Okay, it says we are going to sell 110 items. Now we've got to make a decision. Okay, how much do those 110 items cost us? Are they $26 a piece, or are they $28 a piece? Okay, and this is when we have to make sure we know what inventory flow assumption we're making. This is FIFO, first in, first out. That means that these items right here have to be considered sold before we move on to the others. So we have 110 units. That means that we're going to end up selling all 30 of those. Okay, they're gone. We wiped out those. But we're not there yet. We need another 80 units. 110 minus this 30, we need 80 more units. Right? 30 plus 80 is 110. We're trying to get to that 110 because of this right here. These 80 units cost $28 a piece. So the total for that layer of inventory is $22.40. If you were to make a transaction and needed to know the total cost of merchandise sold, you would have to add those two together. So total cost of merchandise sold is $780 plus $22.40, or $3,020. Okay. Now we've got to update our inventory again. The 30 up here, it's gone. We don't need to worry about it anymore. Of this 140, we've sold 80 of those, so 140 minus 80 is 60. We have 60 items remaining at $28 a piece. So ending inventory is now 60 times 28, or $1,680. Okay, and that ends this day. So let me put a bold underline there. There we go. We handled 420. So now we're moving on to 424. Okay, it says we're going to sell 40 items here. We don't have a choice to make. They're all going to have to come out of this layer right here. So we're going to sell 40 items. They cost us $28 a piece. So the total cost of merchandise sold in this case is 40 times 28, or $1,120. We still have to update our inventory. We had 60 items. We just sold 40, so we have 20 left. Those 20 cost $28 a piece. So our inventory at the end of that day after the sale is $560 worth. Okay, let me separate this day out. Okay, so now we're going to go to April 30th. And we're going to buy some more. We're pretty low. We only have 20 of them left. So we're going to buy 160, and we're paying $30 a piece. Price keeps going up. So what is the cost of that purchase? Oops, I did something wrong there. Oh, I did a plus. Sorry about that. So it's G13 times the $30. Okay, our purchase is $4,800. We have to update the inventory. We still have these items right here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring them down, and then we're going to add this information to it. Okay, I'm going to have to fix some formatting here. We don't need that bold underline right there. There we go. Okay, so what's left at the end of this day? We have 180 units still in stock. 20 of them cost 28. 160 of them cost 30. Altogether, the value of our ending inventory is the sum of these two numbers. Okay, so one of the things it wants to know is, what is the ending inventory? Well, to get our ending inventory at this point, you're going to just add these two numbers together. Our ending inventory is 5360. I just label that. Okay. You do not add up the whole column because you have updated it every time you had a different day. So all you have to do is add those two together. Okay. Now the cost of merchandise sold, if you needed to know it again, you'd have to get everything for that day. This one is just the one item. On this day, you'd have to add those two together for cost of merchandise sold. For this day, you'd have to get that. If they wanted cost of merchandise sold for the entire period, you could add up these items right here, and that would be your cost of merchandise sold right there. Okay, let's see if we answered everything. Determine the cost of merchandise sold for each sale and the inventory balance after each sale. Check, we got that. Based on the preceding data, would you expect the inventory to be higher or lower using the Lifo method? Okay, this one's FIFO. We're going to turn it around and do Lifo in just a second, so we'll hold on to that thought right there and get to it. Let me pause while I copy some of this information to another sheet. Okay, so we're back, and I decided not to print it, copy it to another sheet. Instead, I just put it to the side here so we could see them side by side if we wanted to. So now we're on to Lifo. This was FIFO, first in, first out. This is Lifo, last in, first out. Okay, so we're starting out the same. On April 1st, We have 120 units. They cost $26 a piece, so the total cost is $31.20. Nothing different. So let's go ahead and let me put my nice little bold underline here. Where'd it go? Thick bottom bar. Okay. Now we're going to get to 410. Okay, and on 410 we're going to sell 90 of them. And since there's only one choice to make, there is nothing different. This date is identical in this case to this one. Just go ahead and paste that in. Okay, because there weren't choices to make. Again, they had to cost $26. That doesn't change. Okay, now on 415 we're going to have some changes. So we go to 415. 19. Now, actually, this is not going to change. I'm sorry. This is the purchase. We're going to purchase this right here. Hold on one second. Okay, my apologies. I had to take a phone call. Anyway, we were on 415, and we said we were going to purchase 140 items at $28 a piece. So we said that we could just actually copy this because the purchase is going to be the same. Okay, so now we have our purchase. We still have to update our inventory. We still have the same 30 items at 26, which makes for a total of 780, plus the same purchase. All this right here is still identical. So let's just drop it in place. Okay, and let me put a bold underline for all this. So far everything's been identical, but that is about to change. Okay, now we're going to move on to 420. On 420, it says we're going to sell 110 items, okay? When we were doing Fifo, first in, first out, we had to choose from this first layer right here, okay, because it's first in, first out. Now we're on Lifo, so we have to come down here to this second layer. These are the last ones we bought. They have to be the first to go out. So all 110 of these for Lifo are going to cost $28 a piece. Okay, so you can see we have a different number. This was what, 3,020, something like that. Whatever these added up to be. This time it is 3,080. So you do have a different number. Now that we've come up with our cost of merchandise sold, we need to update our inventory. We did not even touch these items right here, so they are all still there. Of this 140, we just sold 110. That means we have 30 of them left. Those 30 cost us $28. Okay, so look at what happened here. We started out with 30 at 26, 140 at 28. We did not use any of these 30, so we have just dropped down and repeated that information right here. Of this 140, we just sold 110 of those, so there are 30 remaining. These 30 cost $28 a piece. That's where that's coming from right there. Okay, so altogether, if we want to know what is our total ending inventory now, we would add these two items up right there. It would be 15, 16, 20, or something like that. Okay, that ends that day. Okay, so now that was 420. Let's pick up 424. And on 424, we are going to sell another 40 items. Okay, this is still Lifo. So we have to sell these first. Okay, we have to sell all 30 of these at 28. But that's not enough. That's only 30. We need 40. So the other 10 are going to have to come from right here. So 30 are at 28. The next 10 are going to cost $26 a piece. Okay, so altogether our 40 items cost us $866. I would think that's what those two add up to be. Now we have to update our inventory. These right here are gone. We sold every one of them. Of these 30, we sold 10, but 20 of those remain. So we have 20. Those 20 were at 26. So our ending inventory is now $520, and it's made up of the earlier costs. This is all part of what we actually started out with in our beginning inventory, because under Lifo, we're selling those items that we just purchased, the most recently purchased items first. Okay, so that's 424. Now on 430, we're going to purchase some more. The purchase information right here is identical, so we can copy it. The purchase does not change because we go from Lifo to Fifo or the other way around. So there's our purchase. Now we have to update our inventory. We still have these items right here, so let's bring them down to show we still have them. And now we're going to add that in. Okay, so we're going to add 160 at 30, which gives us, oops, I already had that in place, the 4,800. Okay, so what is our ending inventory? Add these two up together right here. Ending inventory here is 520 plus 4,800. Okay, that's 5,320. If we need to know cost of merchandise sold for each transaction, you'd have to go to that day and get all the parts. Here it's that amount, here it's that amount. On this one, you'd have to add the two together. If we want cost of merchandise sold for the entire time period, you know, we can add all of these up. That did not work out so well. Hold on here. There we go. Hopefully that's right. 7 to 13. Yes, that should be right. Okay, that's our cost of merchandise sold. So now, let's look at this. Okay, I can't label ending inventory quite as easily, but let me go ahead and put the cost of merchandise sold here. Cost of merchandise sold equals that number right there. This one under FIFO, the cost of merchandise sold is always going to be the first ones in, and they're going to be the ones coming out first. Okay, so you have 6,480 as your cost of merchandise sold. Here under the Lifo method, the last ones, which are more expensive, should be coming out first. Okay, hold on one second. I see a little mistake made right here. My apologies. This is 260. I left a zero off of that, which makes a difference. Okay, so now what I was saying, under the cost of merchandise sold for FIFO, you are selling the earlier ones first. So this has the smaller, earlier cost, assuming rising prices. This one, you're selling the later ones that under rising prices would cost more. So you would expect this to be higher. Now, inventory is going to be the other way around. Okay, inventory under FIFO, you've sold the earlier ones, so your more expensive items are still sitting in ending inventory. So this should be higher. Under LIFO, you've sold your more expensive later ones first, so this is going to be made up of your earlier cost. So again, LIFO, you're going to have a smaller inventory than FIFO, assuming rising prices. And for cost of merchandise sold, however, LIFO will be higher than FIFO. You can expect those things. Okay, give me a second and I'm going to set up for the average price method in case you want it. And I'll restart it and just... Okay, let's do it again with an average. I didn't put average in here, so let's just put the word average right here next to this. Let me make it bold so you'll remember. And let's make it bigger too. Okay, so this is the average or moving average method over here. Okay, it starts out the same. We start on 4-1 with 120 items at 26 for a total of 3120 in our inventory. Okay, and then when we sell these items here on the 10th, there is nothing any different here either because that's what they cost. So let's just put those in right there. So we're done with the 10th. Now, when we buy them, this is where it's going to become a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to copy the purchase information because that is the same. We bought 140 units. They cost us 28 a piece, so the total purchase price is $39.20. Now, it's inventory now that is going to be different than under the FIFO or LIFO method. What we do at each purchase point, and let me just go ahead and I'm going to mark a purchase point with an asterisk right here. So that's a purchase point. We recalculate an average inventory. So we had 30 units. We just bought 140. How many do we have now? We have 170 units. Okay. Now, we want to know how much did it cost us. Our inventory cost us $780 to begin with. That's what we came into this day with. To that number, we are adding the $39.20 that was just purchased. So look right here. Okay, is the $780 we had plus the newly purchased information. Our total inventory is now worth $4,700. So now that we know that, we calculate a new average. Okay, so we're not multiplying across now. Now we're going to do a division. This average unit cost is the $4,700 divided by 170 units. Okay, so our new average cost is that shouldn't be right. Okay, I know what it is. Excuse me, it's rounding it differently. Let me allow for some rounding. Come on. There we go. It's $27.65. That's better. Okay, so we have it. And that day is done. We don't have to have multiple rows or anything because it all gets absorbed into one line item for an average. Okay, so that was 415. On 420, we're going to sell some more. How many are we selling? It says we're selling 110. Well, there's no decision to make. All 110 have to equal the $27.65. Okay, because that's our average price. So this is going to be the 110 times $27.65. Okay. Now, what do we have left? We had 170. We just sold 110, so we now have 50 units. No, we don't. We have 60 units, sorry. Okay, we have 60 units. They cost $27.65. Just do the multiplication across. Our ending inventory is now $16.59. So that's the end of that day. Okay, now let's move right along. We're on 424. Okay, and it says on 424 we're going to sell 40 items. Those 40 items had to cost us $27.65. So we just do the math across again. That didn't work out so well. Okay, 40 times the $27.65. That is the amount of the cost of merchandise sold. Now, let's update our inventory. We had 60 items. We just sold 40. So now we have 20 items left. They cost $27.65 a piece. So the value here, 20 times $27.65. Ending inventory is now $533. So that right there ends the 24th. Now, we're going to get to the 30th. Okay, this is a purchase point. So let me put my little asterisk in here. Okay, we are going to buy 160. That cost us $30 a piece. And we know that is $4,800 because we did it up there and we did it up there. So now we got to calculate new average prices. We had 20 items. We just bought 180. So we now have, we bought 160. We now have 180. They cost us, going into this, $553. That's our inventory right here. To that, we have to add the $4,800 that we just purchased. Okay, so $553 that we had to start with on this day, plus $480. Our total inventory cost us $53.53. So now we can do a division to get the average cost. So our average cost is the $53.53 divided by the 180 units. And let's see if that has need. Yeah, come back. There we go. $29.74 is the average price. So we have now finished that day. If you were to be asked, what is your inventory balance now? This right here would be your answer. So let me do some highlighting here so you can compare them easily. That's an inventory balance. That's the same balance for the Fifo method. Here it is under Lifo method. So you can see the different numbers under each method. Let's get the cost of merchandise sold for this one. Let's see, find my sum button. Okay, cost of merchandise sold here is $64.88. Okay, let's give that a different color. And you can see here it was that much, and here it is that much. You should find that using the moving average method, let me go ahead and put the word moving in front of this. The moving average method, these numbers should be in between the others. Okay, this is 53.20, this is 53.60. 53.55 is indeed between them. It's averaging it all out. Here are cost of merchandise sold. You have $64.80 here, $65.20 there. This is in between them because it is an average. Anyway, hopefully that helps. You can watch this over and over and have so much fun with inventory calculations. Just remember again, on this moving average, at each purchase point, you have to recalculate your average. Have fun. Bye.